Chapter 8. The Trial. Arila felt heartbroken as she sought Selinko among the spectators in the Rhodesian criminal court. Murder trials were uncommon in Zetan society, and her case was the highest profile case in a long time. She and Kayla were on trial for murdering Sialiap Sandrom, while Selinko was not in the courtroom. Judge Jasper Javanon hit the gavel to silence the spectators and spoke. Arila Kiran and Kayla Valtram, the two of you stand trial for murdering the prominent scholar Sialiap Sandrom. How do you plead? Not guilty, Kylo replied. Not guilty, Arila stated. Judge Jasper turned to Arila, gave her a stern look, and spoke. Your fingerprints were on the murder weapon. Furthermore, you were covered in Sialiap's blood, and you were in the room when our police officers arrived. So how can you claim innocence? Arila drank some water to calm her nerves, and she got teary-eyed when she realized that Selinko hadn't arrived for the trial. I did not murder Sialiap. He was about to murder Selinko Siblaxam when I intervened. I killed him in self-defense. It was the only way to save the mayor's son, Arila explained. Oh yes, you and Kalo came together with an insane story to blame the mayor's son for murdering the head of the Rhodesian Science Academy. There is, however, a problem with that story. Selinko was at his wedding with his newly-wed wife, Lady Shawana, Jasper stated. It's a lie. Selinko was with us at the Science Academy, Kylo interjected. Jasper hit the gavel, stared at Kylo, and exclaimed, Silence, servant! Don't speak unless spoken to first. After his exclamation, Jasper sent a sublime sonic blast towards Kylo that muddled his senses and made him unable to speak. Jasper turned to Arila and spoke again. Here is what happened that fateful night. Sialiap sought a court document to detain you in order to protect his unborn child. Once you were in his custody, you asked your brother to break you out. You were the one who dealt the killing blow while Kylo was your accessory. No, it's not true. Kylo and Selinko came to save me from Sialiap. The child wasn't his, so he wanted to perform experimental surgery to disfigure it, Arila replied. Enough! Admit the murder, and the court will spare your brother and child, Jasper roared. No, I'm innocent, Arila said defiantly. Silence! I have had enough of your insolence. Jasper shouted, lost control of his emotions, and blasted Arila with a psionic blast that knocked her out. The onlookers stared in awe at Judge Jasper, and medics rushed to Arila. Jasper flushed, and his cheeks turned silvery from the embarrassment. This was not how a judge should act. He had lost his patience with the insolent servant who had murdered his half-brother, Sialiap. Jasper hit the gavel many times and shouted, Court adjourned! Please leave the courtroom. Guards entered the courtroom and escorted the onlookers out of the building. Selinko couldn't enjoy his time on the luxurious space yacht which orbited the beautiful pink planet Ceralius. He was here on a honeymoon with his wife, Shawana, and yet the fate of another woman occupied his mind. Moreover, Selinko felt terrible for not protecting Arila, as she stood trial for murdering Sialiap. After the confrontation at the Rhodesian Science Academy, Selinko had been too weak to move. Finally, after an undisclosed length of time, he had opened his eyes when his father Siblax and his wife Shawana had helped him away from the scene. They had dragged him onto a space yacht to leave for his honeymoon the following day. 2 weeks later, he had recovered from his fight with Sialiap, and he was cruising the Zetan star system with his newly wedded wife. Selinko turned on the hologram TV and watched Arila's trial. It was a foregone conclusion. Arila belonged to the servant caste, and the judge was Sialiap's half-brother. Nothing except for his intervention could save the mother of his future child. Selinko struggled with his conscience. He wanted to save Arila, but admitting what happened would destroy his marriage and his father's career. What would he do? Shawana entered Selinko's room, turned off the TV, and spoke gently. Don't worry about that trial, my dear. Arila's conviction will be for the best. If your unborn child means so much to you, then we can adopt him. He will, after all, be an orphan otherwise. But this is not right. This is all my fault. I seduced Arila as I wanted to be the one fathering the chosen one. She never stood a chance, Selinko said and sighed. Don't be silly. Who cares about the prophecies uttered by a delusional seer on her deathbed? Think ahead, my dear. I forgive your transgressions. Together we can rule Rhodesia after your father's retirement. That's a goal to strive for, Shawana said. Selinko nodded. He didn't want to argue with Shawana about his problems. It served no purpose. Besides, there was no way he would be able to get back to the trial in time to save Arila. Shawana smiled at Selinko, unzipped her dress and spoke. So, my dear, do you know what's the best part of being pregnant is? No. Please tell me, Selinko said and stared away in the distance. The best part is that we can enjoy as much sex as we want, without the risk of breaking the conception laws. I cannot get pregnant if I'm already pregnant, Shawana seduced. Selinko gave in to Shawana's advances and kissed her. If he couldn't get rid of his mental anguish, he could at least enjoy Shawana's body. Arila Kiran, the court finds you guilty of murder. You will be executed on the autumn solstice 8 months from now. Kylo Voltrum, the court finds you guilty of being an accessory to murder. The court sentences you to deportation to Desierto 2. You remain in prison until the next spaceship is ready to take you away. Case closed. Arila covered her face and sobbed in silence as Judge Jasper Jevano hit the gavel and handed her the final sentence. Only a miracle could save her now.